Breaking news tonight, new satellite imagery of a shipyard in North Korea reveals evidence that North Korea is now building a new ballistic missile submarine. Joining us now is one of the people who revealed this discovery today as part of his work for the Center for Strategic and International Studies, Victor Cha. He's also a former White House National Security Council Director for Asian Affairs and on MSNBC Korean Affairs Analyst. Victor, what do we see in this image that we just had up on the screen?
So, Lawrence, what that is the secured ship basin at the Shimpo missile submarine shipyard. And while we don't see the new class of ballistic missile submarine, what we do see there is a missile test barge and a vessel adjacent to that missile test barge, which according to past practice means they may be preparing for a sea-launched ballistic missile test. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen today or tomorrow, but all the actions that we're seeing there now, and first really good imagery in quite some time, it's less than 24 hours old, are consistent with preparations for a submarine-launched ballistic missile test for probably for this new class of submarine that they have talked about developing.
And where was North Korea on submarine technology prior to now?
Pretty primitive. Most of it has been of Soviet origin. The old, what we used to call the old Romeo-class submarines, very noisy, certainly not capable of launching nuclear-tipped missiles. But what the North Koreans revealed through state news agency last July was their leader, Kim Jong-un, visiting this new submarine. There was a big picture of a submarine in a dry dock. And experts who looked at that said that is not the old submarine that they used to have. That is a new submarine. And most importantly, it has tubes from which you could launch missiles. And so what we have found in this imagery is that there's a lot of activity at the warehouse, a lot of camouflage or shrouding activity by the North Koreans, erecting of cranes that are consistent with a lot of activity consistent with building this new ballistic missile submarine.
And this is obviously threatening to the region, threatening to South Korea, threatening to Japan. But this is also the kind of technology that could be threatening to the United States. There's the big question of what is the range of a North Korean missile? Well, if it's coming off a submarine, then the question is how far away is the submarine? And the submarines can get pretty close.
That's right. The submarines can get pretty close. They're much harder to track. Everything North Korea has launched thus far in terms of missiles has been from the ground. And those, while it's a challenge to target them, you can target them. But once these submarines are underwater, it's much harder to find them, either to target or to preemptively attack them. And the missiles we think they would launch from this are something known as the KN-11, which has a range of about 750 to 1,000 miles. But all they need to do is get close enough to Guam, which is a hub for the United States in terms of our regional defense in East Asia. If this continues to move forward, it would represent a significant advancement in North Korean missile and nuclear threat capabilities to the United States.
And Victor, a quick last word about Donald Trump has achieved so far absolutely nothing with North Korea. And this shows that he's actually losing more ground with North Korea as Kim Jong-un is moving into an even more aggressive stance in terms of this weapon's capacity to strike the United States.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the North Koreans have been, while this diplomacy with Trump has been going on, North Korea has not been denuclearizing. If anything, they have been augmenting both their nuclear weapons stockpiles, their fissile material, and as this shows, a new leg of the nuclear triad, if you will, that would give them a sea-based capability, not just a ground-based capability.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on the button below for more from The Last Word and the rest of MSNBC.